Join with the Pledge of Allegiance as we call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Right. Make a motion to not approve the meeting agenda. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Loye. Any discussion? Mr. Martin's a yes. Mrs. Fishman?
Yes.
Mr. Loye?
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt?
Yes.
Mrs. Nickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Patch?
Yes.
And just making sure that no one else joined, which doesn't look like they did. All right. With that, I'll turn it over to Tom to kind of run through the point of the meeting.
Yep. So I sent this to you guys out over the weekend. We were already going to create this position to have it approved at the June 7 board meeting. Well, Connie's looking to find that, to post that. The position is called Director of Academic Supports and Interventions. So a couple things here. One is we have to utilize the $8.6 million in the American Relief monies. It was 3 years, they extended to 4 years, but then you lose it because it's in grant form. Genius on Albany's part to do that. So then the other thing is the $3.36 million in the CRCC CARES money. And again, there's a time constriction on that as well, as they're both grants. So some districts, basically it comes down to, do they hire third-party people to try to have them come into your schools a couple days a week, or do you actually create a position for the time that you need it and intensively target the learning gaps caused by COVID or gaps that were already there? So this position is going to be utilized for secondary, middle school, high school. It is a short-term position in its need, given the fact that it's our third year on a list for the middle school, underperforming. I've had many conversations with Lynn Dowler. I told her we were going to be having an emergency board meeting, and she's all on board with it because she herself is a teacher at the middle school, and she loves the idea of having this administrative position that can really help teachers during their planning periods, half-day professional development days, throughout the whole day, reading in the content area. So literacy as well as math. So we wanted to be able to find somebody that was strong in both, that has experience administratively doing this, but also teaching history of doing this. So the reason why we wanted to expedite this and have you guys create this today is that right now, in the next 2 weeks, all the districts in our region are on a massive hiring campaign to be able to hire the best of the best. I never like, and I know that Andy Martin doesn't like this, to be able to create a position, hire it at the same board meeting. Plus we have obligations to post that meeting internally for 5 days. I just know that a lot of districts are creating position like this, and they're going to be hiring like ASAP. And so the pool out there is very small, whether that is for a superintendent, assistant superintendent, a head of special ed. And the bottom line is that we've got some areas that we've got to correct in this district. This is just one of our big steps in moving forward. This position should really be able to help us, target us, and get somebody in here that is quality administrator to be able to help support the teachers. And hopefully we'll be able to get off that, that targeted school at the middle school. There you go.
So Tom, so the measure of effectiveness is going to be if we get off this list, right? So that's going to be one of the key indicators as to whether or not this position's working or not.
Yes and no. The measurement of effectiveness is that kids can actually be successful in their classrooms. So we're having more and more teachers just come to us saying there's gaps when kids are just struggling. Whether it's a math class, kids are struggling with their reading. And so we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, how can we retrace this? So we have curriculum consultants at the elementary school, and on paper it says that 50% of their time is intensive coaching of teachers on strategies for reading and math AIS, and then 50% of the time is they have their own AIS groups. Unfortunately, long before I got here and I oversaw the elementary, it was really 80-20. So the curriculum consultants spend 80% of their time giving AIS to small groups for math and ELA, and only 20%, if that, working, coaching, and doing what that teaching was supposed to be. So not only are we creating this position, we're actually creating more reading teachers with this American Relief money at the elementary to be able to fill those gaps, which will then also mean that the curriculum consultants, it can be a true 50-50. So that coaching can happen there. If that coaching is happening there, it'll have a trickle-down effect, and then we'll need less targeted intervention at the middle school if those kids are getting what they really need at the elementary level.
So does this position, how's that line up with Oswego County's reading initiative?
Oh, 100%. So again, the reason why we're doing this right now is we want a candidate pool that have been fully trained in letters training and OCLI. So we have teachers at the middle school. See, OCLI is really a kindergarten, first and second and third grade. So I'm sorry, kindergarten, first and second grade. Third and fifth, we're able to do things in staff development, but that OCLI initiative actually is not, it stops at second grade. So what we're able to do, and Jen Smolnick started to do this at the middle school as an assistant principal, is to make sure that the teachers got that same OCLI training. So we have a true continuum from elementary straight up with reading, because it kind of drops off when kids, go into the middle school. So this position will be able to continue with that letters training, which we absolutely, and Aaron's on here, have seen gains literacy wise because of the OCLI program. And we're able to actually utilize more coaching from the the OCLI. We had to actually cut down when Governor Cuomo said he was going to cut 20%, last year. Now we're able to go back and get more of the coaching time from the OCLI for our kindergarten through second grade. So we're excited about that.
Tom, Kira is trained in all this?
Yes.
Okay, I'm done. See what happens when I come to work and put a tie on. I got a lot of pointed questions.
You do look good.
Any other questions before we make a motion? All right, and Tom, glad to hear you're bringing Reaganomics to education, trickle down. I like it. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the creation of the position of Director of Academic Support and Interventions. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Fishman. Any discussion? Mr. Martins, yes. Mrs. Fishman?
Yes.
Mr. Loyer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt?
Yes.
Mrs. Nickerson?
Yes.
And Mr. Patch? All right, motion carries. And with that, we'll make a motion to adjourn. Second by Loyer. Any discussion?
Yes, I have one thing. How's Chance? How are you doing?
I'm surviving.
Okay, Mom. That's the only discussion I have.
I will say, when the girls were over Saturday, Chance, I asked Ashley and I said, how's the baby doing? She goes, ask my mom. So
She's spoiled.
yeah, she said no.
As she should be.
All right, so on adjournment, Martin's a yes. Fishman?
Yes.
Loyer?
Yes.
Hoyt?
Yeah.
Nickerson?
Yes.
And Patch.
Yes.
All right, have a great Monday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Bye.